Today, we are here to announce that for the first time in many years, an alleged Chinese state-sponsored hacker has been arrested for computer intrusion crimes against institutions in the United States. In 2023, a grand jury here in Houston returned a sealed indictment against Xu Ziwei and his defendant Zhang Yu for offenses arising from the hacking of computers at 3 universities, 2 of which are located here in the Southern District of Texas, as well as the hacking of a major international law firm based in Washington, D.C. This indictment alleges that Xu, along with others, operated under the control and direction of the Chinese State Security Bureau as part of a state-sponsored hacking group known as Hafnium, or Silk Typhoon. It is alleged that the State Security Bureau would assign targets to Xu, both organizations and individuals, with the instruction for him to hack the accounts and seek out specific information. The conduct alleged in this case began in February 2020, at a time just before COVID took firm hold in the United States, but had already begun to rage throughout China, despite the Chinese government's insistence a few weeks earlier that the virus could not be spread from person to person. The indictment alleges that Xu was ordered to hack into specific American universities and mailboxes of particular individuals at those universities, including virologists and immunologists who are conducting COVID-19 research. Xu is alleged to have penetrated the various schools' exchange servers by exploiting vulnerabilities in software to surreptitiously insert pieces of code or script known as web shells into targeted accounts, allowing the hackers continued access to the account's email and to the information contained therein. Once Xu obtained access to these targeted accounts, he was able to copy gigabytes of COVID research, which he then transferred to his State Security Bureau handlers. In October 2020, Xu is also alleged to have hacked into the email of a major DC-based international law firm, doing so to access and export confidential information about the firm's clients, specifically U.S. policymakers, government agencies, and political actors. Some of the searches that Xu was alleged to have conducted, including during the cyber intrusion, including the search terms Hong Kong, Chinese sources, and MSS, referring to China's Ministry of State Security. Although the Chinese state-sponsored hackers are, on occasion, indicted by the Department of Justice, it is exceedingly rare, indeed it is virtually unheard of, to actually get your hands on them. Since 2023, the United States has waited, quietly and patiently, for Xu to make a mistake that would put him within the reach of the American judicial system. And last week, he did just that, traveling from Shanghai to Milan, Italy. Once he touched down in Italy, Xu was promptly taken into custody by Italian authorities. He now awaits extradition to the United States, and we are deeply grateful to our Italian partners for their assistance in this case. I would also like to thank our partners at the FBI and DOJ's Office of International Affairs for their help in making this arrest happen. We also wish to thank DOJ's National Security Division for their partnership throughout this long investigation. It is notable that the Chinese government-directed theft COVID-19 research began in February 2020, after the outbreak of the virus in mainland China, and at a time where PRC officials were withholding information about the virus and its origin. The hacking of these American universities is not just a violation of intellectual property rights, it's an attack on American scientific innovation. The hacking of a U.S. law firm is not just about computer crime. It's about an attack on the American system of justice, which depends on the legal ability of clients to seek and obtain frank and confidential advice from their law counsel. Although the conduct in this case took place several years ago, we never lost sight of our goal to bring the perpetrators of these cyber intrusions to justice. Now, at least some of that story can be told. We eagerly await Mr. Xu's speedy extradition to the United States, and when he arrives, we look forward to extending him a warm Texas welcome.